The number one way to overcome your fear of public speaking is to Alright guys, before we get into any of the tips, let's kind of talk about some of the things you can do to ease your nerves before you actually get up to speak. One thing I love to do when I'm out at events or about to speak is actually to kind of socialize with my audience, right? I think a lot of times that fear stems from us just kind of like being afraid and thinking they're like scary monsters, right? So if you get out there and kind of get to know your audience, maybe find some people that have common ground, you'll feel a lot more comfortable because you feel like you've already made that connection with your audience before you actually get up there and speak. You've already went over your notes enough. You know exactly what you're going to say. At this point, right before you speak, all you're trying to do is calm the nerves. And what I always find is just get out there and socializing with my audience before I actually go up to speak. Sweet. Now let's get into the tips. Tip number one is a big one. Be prepared, right? We've all done it before. We've had to get up and speak and we're just super nervous. But a lot of times those nerves stem from, A, we don't know anything about the subject, which we're going to cover in other videos when it comes to doing impromptu speeches, or we're just not prepared, right? I'll give you guys a little tip about what I do for videos like this. For me, when I present, I just like to have little slides that kind of tell me what the topic is, and I can kind of freestyle off of that, right? I know a lot of people aren't comfortable with that, so they may have maybe a teleprompter, or they'll have like their notes on their phone using something like Keynote Remote to run their slideshow. That's fine. Just make sure you're not reading from the thing the whole time and not actually engaging with your audience, right? They're here to see you, not see you read from your phone, right? So that's that number one tip. Just make sure you're prepared. As we go through and make more videos on this channel, we're going to talk about other ways to prepare. We're going to talk about presentation types and all that fun stuff, right? Just prepare as much as you can before you get up to speak, and that's going to do a lot to calm those nerves. Tip number two is just to take your time, right? There's no need to rush. I know you guys see me on here. I'm a super high energy guy, right? But believe it or not, I actually am taking my time and making sure I deliver everything to you guys. You don't want to get up there and start stumbling over your words, right? And make yourself even more nervous. It's okay to take a pause while you're speaking, right? There's nothing wrong with that. People aren't going to freak out as long as you don't take a pause and go and maybe run away, right? As long as you take that pause to maybe compose yourself, to think about what you're going to say, you'll be totally fine. So just take your time, guys. Life is a marathon, remember? Tip number three is to think positive thoughts. No, this isn't like The Secret. Not if you believe it, you can achieve it, right? Even though I do believe in positive manifestation. This is a lot of times we get up and we feel like, oh, maybe I'm going to stumble over my words. People are judging me. They are just ignoring me. I sound stupid. I don't like the sound of my voice. You have all of those crazy negative thoughts running through your head, right? Think the best, right? Just get up there and imagine what it would be like if all these people watching you were your raving fans, right? If they thought the best of you. That's how you have to think when you go up to present. That's the only way you're going to be able to own the stage and really pull that audience into what you're saying, is to have those positive thoughts and really feel like you're winning out there and not really worry about the negative stuff. We all have it, right? I still get it to this day. I have those thoughts where I'm like, oh, I'm not quite sure, but I throw those out as soon as I get on the stage. And if you look around that audience and if you went out and you spoke to them before you got up, you probably already got some fans out there. You probably can find somebody smiling and nodding, and they're going to help you think those positive thoughts as you go through. And if they're not smiling and nodding, hey, you still got to keep rolling and thinking positive, right? Tip number four, talk about things you're passionate about. The way I can deliver energy when I'm talking about public speaking is that it's something I'm super passionate about. I see just so many people being afraid and paralyzed by the fear and don't want to really get up and deliver an amazing speech, like super smart people, well-spoken people that just can't get over that hurdle, right? That's why I'm so passionate about the topic of public speaking. So it's easy for me to stand up here and actually deliver this training and these messages to you guys, right? But a lot of times you may get something in school and it's a subject that you're not super excited about. I used to always do what I used to call a remix on those. So I may have to go up and speak about somebody. I'll find something interesting about that person or that topic and find a way to actually deliver that with passion, right? Because that's what really pulls the audience in. Like, you can get up there and say that, oh yeah, guys, we're going to talk about public speaking. I think you gotta, get up there and do it. Nobody wants to hear that, right? They want you to actually come with energy and passion, and it can't be fake because we can see right through that fake energy and passion, right? It has to be something authentic. So find a way to be passionate about it. And if you're given a choice, just only speak about stuff you're passionate about. It's that easy. Tip number 5. You always wonder if my hands are backwards because this camera kind of mirrors everything. 5, I don't even know. But anyway, tip number 5 is repetition is key, right? The more times you actually take advantage and get up there and speak, the more comfortable you're going to get with it, right? Or even something like Toastmasters, where you don't have a choice but to get up and speak. But the cool thing about that, it'll be a lot of people you can relate to. They'll probably have that same fear or nervousness about public speaking that you have. You can find that common ground and actually work your way through that, right? I did a little thing where I want to really just get better speaking in public, or better yet, delivering like a concise message to people. I went out in the city and I shot for about 30 days straight. You can find the videos here or here somewhere up there where I go and I do impromptu speeches, just grabbing my camera and tripod and just setting it up like anywhere in the city, like right in the middle of a sidewalk, and actually delivering a message to the camera. Those videos are on my channel. There's a playlist here, like I said before. Check that out. I did that just so I can get that repetition and get that muscle memory behind presenting, just to practice to stay sharp, right? That's all you have to do. Get up there and repeat it as much as you can, because the more you do it, the more you're going to get comfortable with delivering those speeches. Tip number 6, find somebody to focus on, right? I grew up singing in church, and I used to be super nervous. I was like 8 or 9 years old when I first started doing it. So I would find like my mom, a family member, or somebody who I knew loved the way that I sang, and I'd like focus on them probably a bit too much. I just like sing to them. You can do the same thing when you get up and you're delivering that speech, right? You can get up and actually just find somebody to have a safe place to go back to, right? I wouldn't like focus on them the whole time, but anytime you start to feel those nerves getting the best of you, you can kind of go back to your safe place. And if you went out before and actually spoke to people before you started your speech, you're probably already going to be pretty comfortable with a few of them, and you can always seek them out in the crowd to kind of get that positive reassurance that everything's going to be okay. Step number 7 is to educate yourself. There are tons of books out there about this stuff that kind of talk about it. It's going to make you a lot more comfortable when you know what presentation style to use, how to facilitate to a small group or to a big group, or when you should actually weave stories in. On this channel, we're going to go through and we're going to break down every presentation style and when to use them. I know we've all been up and we kind of go out and say to the crowd, like, what do you guys feel about that? Does anybody have any questions? And you kind of get the crickets and you have that pregnant pause, as I call it, and things start to feel weird, right? 9 times out of 10, that's probably because you're mixing presentation styles together or using the wrong presentation style for your crowd. We're going to break that down in my next video and talk about presentation styles and when to use them. I've also included a bunch of my favorite books in the links below that are actually going to help you to go through and learn a little bit more about presenting presentation styles and just generally being more confident on camera or on stage. Alright, I know the video said 7 tips, but I actually have 3 bonus tips I want to leave you guys with. One of the most important ones is to put everything into perspective, right? 9 times out of 10, if you go up there and totally bomb this speech, nobody's going to die. It's not a big deal. And I'll give you guys another secret. If you're actually speaking in school, when you have somebody waiting to go after you, they're probably not paying attention anyway. They're probably just super nervous and going over their speech in their head and hoping not to mess up. So put it in perspective. Nobody's gonna die. It's not that big of a deal. Just get up there and do your thing. Also, make sure that you act like you care, right? What I mean by this is that you go up there and act like you care about your audience and delivering a great message. The reason why I can be so passionate is that I care about you guys, and I want you to go out there and deliver an awesome speech. So if you care about the subject and care about and respect your audience, that's actually going to channel from you to them, and they're going to feel that, right? They're going to know that, hey man, this guy is doing his best. He's trying to deliver a great message to us, and you're going to have a great speech. The last bonus tip is to actually choose the right presentation style. Remember what I said before? I'll just give you a sneak peek. There's 3 presentation styles. We have presentation, which is what I'm doing right now. We have facilitation, which is when we kind of sit around in a circle, think like a campfire, and we just have a cool chat about a certain topic. And then we have storytelling, right? Where we tell a cool story about something. I'm going to break down in my next video, which if you're watching this in the future is actually linked right above here, and there's links below as well, where I actually go through and we're going to break down all those 3 presentation styles and talk about when we should do them and then get some examples. I may even throw in some clips as well from very popular speakers, and we'll break down the styles that they're using. Thanks for watching, guys. I want you to do me a big favor. I always like to go back and think about like my worst speeches. I remember I had one where I thought I was gonna actually just crush it. When I was in the military, we had something called Airman Leadership School. When you're actually about to become a sergeant, you have to go through a pretty intense school. And I remember actually going through and doing my video and getting up, and that we actually had to record ourselves, and we had somebody back there marking down all the ums and the ahs and all the things that we did. I feel like I did an okay job, but when I actually went back and watched it, it was pretty bad. See, I got a little pause just then. I just thought about it. I was thinking about that person back there actually marking down every time I said or But anyway, I actually went through and I watched that video, and I was like staring at that camera like the whole time. So I should have known even back then that I was going to become a YouTuber, because I was watching the camera the whole time and not really looking at the rest of my audience. Guys, please share your favorite speech that you've done and your worst speech that you've done as well. And I'm sure other people in the community will appreciate it. We can kind of share our stories there as well, guys. And once again, if you like your video, don't forget to subscribe. And if you're a new subscriber, don't forget to put I subscribed in the comments. And as always, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.